Ladies and gentlemen, there is a profound beauty in the act of walking alone, a beauty that defies the noisy demands of the world. To walk alone is not to abandon, but to embrace the self that has been long buried under the weight of expectations, judgments, and endless chatter. Alone you are free. Free to feel the rhythm of your own heartbeat, untainted by the pulse of others. Free to breathe the air that has no voice but your own. In solitude, you come face to face with the vastness of life. You begin to see that the world does not conspire to lead you, it simply exists, waiting for you to create your own path. And in that creation there is no right or wrong, no better or worse, only the journey that is uniquely yours. The act of walking alone demands a certain courage, the courage to leave behind the crowd, to refuse the comfort of belonging, and to step into the unknown. As you walk, the chatter of the world fades, and in its place emerges the sound of stillness. This stillness is not empty, it is rich, teeming with the whispers of your own spirit and the hum of the universe. You realize in those quiet moments that you are not truly alone. The trees sway in rhythm with your steps, the wind wraps itself around you like a companion, and the stars above guide you silently. Walking alone is not about isolation, it is about presence. You are not running away from anything but walking toward everything. In each step there is discovery of yourself, of the world, and of the intricate dance between the two. It is a journey where every stone underfoot and every shadow cast holds a secret meant just for you. The path is not easy, but it is rewarding. It demands that you confront your fears, your doubts, and your loneliness, only to realize that these were never enemies but misunderstood friends. They guide you inward to a place where strength resides, unshakable and eternal. This strength is not given by others, it is born within, from the sheer act of trusting yourself. To walk alone is to embrace the moment as it unfolds. You are no longer a prisoner of the past or a hostage to the future. Every step becomes an act of creation, every breath a song of freedom. The world no longer defines you, you define it, with each choice, with each thought, with each heartbeat. Walking alone is not about arriving anywhere. It is about becoming the person who is unafraid to step into the vast unknown, who finds joy in the journey rather than the destination, and who carries within them the infinite wisdom of having walked their own path. To walk alone is to embark on a journey into the depths of oneself, a journey that cannot be undertaken in the company of others. Solitude is not merely the absence of people, it is the presence of oneself in the purest, most unfiltered form. In the stillness that surrounds, there arises a clarity that is often drowned out by the noise of the world. It is in these moments of quiet that one begins to peel back the layers, to uncover what lies beneath the surface. When alone, there is no need to perform, no need to align with the expectations of others. The masks we wear in society fall away, leaving only the raw, unvarnished self. It is a vulnerable state, yet profoundly liberating. The absence of external voices creates space for the inner voice to emerge, soft at first, like a whisper carried on the wind, but growing stronger and more distinct with every passing moment. This solitude is a mirror, reflecting back truths that are often obscured in the rush of daily life. It reveals not only what we are, but what we are not, helping us distinguish between the person we aspire to be and the one we have been conditioned to become. In this reflection, there is an opportunity to reconnect with the essence of who we are, to remember the dreams and desires that may have been buried under years of conformity and compromise. In walking alone, there is also an unspoken dialogue with oneself. Questions arise that demand answers. Who am I? What do I value? What truly matters? These are not questions that can be answered quickly or superficially. They require time, patience, and a willingness to confront discomfort. But in facing them, one begins to cultivate a deeper understanding of their own nature. Solitude teaches us that the self is not static but fluid, always in motion, always evolving. The person you meet in your solitude today may not be the same as the one you encounter tomorrow. This realization brings with it a sense of wonder, as if discovering a vast and unexplored landscape within. Each moment spent alone becomes a step toward greater self-awareness, each thought a path leading to new insights. There is an intimacy in being alone that is unmatched, a chance to sit with one's fears, to dance with one's joys, to simply be without judgment. In this state, one discovers that they are not defined by external circumstances or the opinions of others, but by their own choices, their own will, and their own spirit. When a person walks alone, they step out of the shadow of external influences that often shape their thoughts, choices, and identity. The world is a cacophony of voices: family, friends, society, media, all vying for attention, each one asserting what is right, desirable, or necessary. These influences, while not inherently malicious, can cloud judgment and dilute individuality. Walking alone offers a rare opportunity to detach from this overwhelming noise, to find clarity in the stillness. In solitude, there is no one to impress, no standards to meet, no approval to seek. The freedom from the gaze of others removes the pressure to conform. Without the need to please, one can explore what they truly want, what they truly believe. The absence of external expectations creates space for genuine introspection, for questioning the norms that have been passively accepted. What remains is an unadulterated connection to the self, untainted by the desires and judgments of others. Walking alone also strips away the fear of judgment. In the company of others, actions are often calculated, words chosen carefully to align with social expectations. Solitude dissolves this constraint, allowing one to act and think freely. The liberation from external validation fosters a sense of authenticity, a chance to express thoughts and feelings without censorship or fear of misunderstanding. It is a space where the soul can breathe, unrestricted by the tight confines of societal approval. In this freedom, there is a profound sense of empowerment. When one is no longer bound by the opinions of others, they can begin to trust their own instincts, their own wisdom. Decisions become personal rather than influenced. There is no need to justify choices or defend paths taken, for the only voice that matters is one's own. This self-reliance is a quiet but powerful act of rebellion against a world that often demands conformity. As the weight of external influences lifts, a newfound clarity emerges. One begins to see that many of the limitations they once felt were not real but imposed by culture, by upbringing, by the collective fears and insecurities of others. In solitude, these false boundaries dissolve, and the horizon stretches endlessly, filled with possibilities. This freedom is not about rejecting others, but about reclaiming one's own agency, about realizing that the only true guide in life is the voice within. Strength in solitude is a quiet, unshakable force that emerges when one learns to stand alone, unassisted and unencumbered by the expectations or support of others. It is not a strength born of arrogance or isolation, but of a deep-rooted self-reliance that flourishes in the absence of external crutches. In solitude, there is no one to lean on, no one to blame, and no distractions to avoid facing one's own truths. It is in this stillness that true resilience is forged. To be alone requires courage. It is a choice to step away from the safety of the crowd, to relinquish the comfort of shared burdens and collective validation. In solitude, one confronts the raw reality of their own existence, with no one to shield them from their fears, doubts, or vulnerabilities. This confrontation is not easy, but it is necessary. It is through facing oneself fully, without pretense or denial, that strength begins to grow. Solitude teaches one to endure, not in a way that numbs or hardens the heart, but in a way that fortifies it. In the quiet, one learns to sit with discomfort, to navigate the storms of the mind without seeking refuge in distractions or others' reassurances. The capacity to endure loneliness, uncertainty, and self-doubt without crumbling becomes a testament to inner strength. It is a reminder that peace and stability are not dependent on external conditions but can be cultivated within. There is also a kind of independence that emerges from solitude, a realization that one is capable of standing alone, of solving their own problems, of finding their own way. This independence does not mean rejecting help or connection, but recognizing that one's foundation is not built on others. It is the understanding that while companionship enriches life, it is not a prerequisite for wholeness or stability. This realization instills a quiet confidence, a belief in one's own resilience and resourcefulness. In solitude, one discovers that strength is not always loud or visible. It does not always manifest as bold actions or grand declarations. Often it is found in the simple act of being, of remaining present, steady, and true to oneself despite the pull of external pressures. It is the strength to walk one's path, even when that path is difficult or uncertain, to hold one's ground when the world demands conformity, and to trust one's own inner compass when there is no map to follow. This strength becomes a sanctuary, an inner fortress that cannot be shaken by external chaos or the opinions of others. It is a strength that allows one to face life with equanimity, knowing that they possess the resilience to weather any storm. Solitude, rather than being a state of emptiness, becomes a source of profound power, a space where one discovers the depth and magnitude of their own strength. The path less traveled is a journey of courage, a deliberate choice to step away from the well-trodden roads paved by the expectations and experiences of others. It is a path shrouded in uncertainty, often winding through uncharted territory, where the familiar comforts of the known give way to the thrill and challenge of exploration. To walk this path requires more than mere curiosity. It demands the strength to defy convention, to question the assumptions handed down by society, and to forge a way that is uniquely one's own. On the path less traveled, there is no blueprint, no set of instructions to follow. This absence of guidance can be unsettling, but it is also liberating. Without a prescribed route, one is free to create their own journey, to make choices based on their inner compass rather than external influences. This freedom, while exhilarating, comes with its share of challenges. The lack of clear markers means that one must learn to navigate through trial and error, trusting their instincts and embracing the lessons of failure. The path less traveled is often solitary, for few dare to leave the comfort of the crowd. This solitude can feel daunting, but it also offers a profound sense of clarity. Without the noise of others' opinions or the pressure to conform, one begins to see the world and themselves with fresh eyes. The absence of comparison fosters authenticity, allowing one to discover their true desires and aspirations, unfiltered by societal norms. Walking this path also requires resilience, for it is not without its obstacles. There will be moments of doubt, when the easier, more conventional route beckons with its promise of safety and acceptance. There will be moments of struggle when the terrain feels too steep, the journey too arduous. But these challenges are not deterrents, they are the very essence of the path less traveled. Each obstacle overcome, each step forward despite uncertainty, strengthens the spirit and deepens the sense of purpose. This journey is not about reaching a predetermined destination, but about the act of traveling itself. The experiences along the way, the discoveries, the hardships, the triumphs shape the traveler, transforming them in ways they could never have anticipated. The path less traveled is a crucible, refining and revealing the core of who one truly is. It is also a path of endless possibilities, for it is not bound by the limitations of the familiar. Each step is an act of creation, a chance to explore new ideas, perspectives, and ways of being. The unknown becomes a source of wonder rather than fear, and the journey itself becomes a testament to the boundless potential of the human spirit. To walk the path less traveled is to embrace life in its fullest form. It is to step into the unknown not with certainty, but with trust in oneself, in the journey, and in the unfolding of a story that is entirely one's own. It is a path that challenges, transforms, and ultimately liberates, leaving the traveler forever changed. The joy of the present moment is a treasure often overlooked in the rush to achieve, to plan, or to dwell on what has been. It is a fleeting gift that exists only in the now, a gift that cannot be grasped or preserved but only experienced. In the present moment, life reveals itself in its purest form, stripped of the complications of past regrets or future anxieties. It is here, in the simplicity of the now, that joy resides, not in grand events or distant dreams, but in the small, often unnoticed details that surround us. To embrace the present moment requires a shift in awareness, a willingness to pause and truly see what is before you. It is the act of feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, hearing the rustle of leaves in the breeze, or savoring the taste of a single sip of water. These experiences, though seemingly ordinary, become extraordinary when met with full attention. The present moment does not demand grandeur, it invites mindfulness, a quiet appreciation for the beauty of what simply is. In the present, there is a sense of timelessness. The relentless ticking of the clock fades away, replaced by a profound connection to the here and now. Worries about what was or what might be lose their grip as the mind no longer races ahead or lingers behind. This freedom from temporal concerns allows one to immerse fully in life as it unfolds, to feel alive in a way that transcends the ordinary rhythm of existence. The joy of the present moment is not dependent on circumstances. It does not require everything to be perfect or for life to align with one's desires. It is a joy that arises from within, independent of external conditions. Even in the midst of challenges or uncertainties, there is always something in the present to be grateful for, to marvel at, or to cherish. This joy is subtle yet profound, a reminder that happiness is not something to be chased, but something to be discovered right where you are. The present moment also carries with it a sense of intimacy, a closeness with life itself. It allows one to connect deeply with oneself, with others, and with the world. In this connection, there is a sense of belonging, a realization that you are not separate from life, but an integral part of it. The barriers of ego and judgment dissolve, replaced by a sense of unity and harmony with all that is. To live in the present is to honor the fleeting nature of time. Each moment, once past, is gone forever, a unique and irreplaceable fragment of existence. By being fully present, one acknowledges the preciousness of life, embracing it not as a series of milestones to be achieved, but as a continuous flow of experiences to be savored. It is an act of reverence, a way of saying yes to life in all its forms, from the mundane to the extraordinary. In the present, there is no need for pretense or striving. There is only being pure, simple, and joyful. It is a state of openness, where the heart and mind are free to receive the wonders of the world without resistance or distraction. The joy of the present moment is not something to be found, it is something to be remembered, for it has always been there, waiting patiently for you to notice. Connection with nature and the universe is an experience that transcends words, a deep and instinctual bond that reminds us of our place in the vast tapestry of existence. It is not something foreign or distant, but something intrinsic to our very being. To walk alone amidst the natural world is to step into a realm where the artificial constructs of human life fall away, revealing a timeless truth: we are not separate from nature, we are a part of it. The gentle rustle of leaves, the rhythmic ebb and flow of waves, the quiet hum of insects in the air, all these sounds create a symphony that resonates within us. There is a profound familiarity in these melodies, as if they echo the pulse of our own hearts. In the presence of nature, we are no longer bound by the constraints of human time or human expectations. We move to the rhythm of the earth, a rhythm that is steady, patient, and eternal. Nature's beauty is a reminder of the perfection in imperfection. A crooked tree, a jagged mountain, a winding river, none conform to rigid standards, yet all possess a grace that captivates and inspires. This realization mirrors our own lives, showing us that we too are part of a greater design, perfect in our imperfections. In observing the cycles of nature, the blooming of flowers, the changing of seasons, the rising and setting of the sun, we are reminded of the ebb and flow of our own existence. There is comfort in this continuity, a sense of belonging to a pattern far greater than ourselves. As we immerse ourselves in the natural world, a sense of humility emerges. The towering peaks, the endless expanse of the ocean, the vastness of the star-filled sky, they dwarf us, not in a way that diminishes, but in a way that expands. In their presence, we are reminded of the vast scale of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things. Each star, each grain of sand, each drop of rain plays its part in the whole, just as we do. This understanding dissolves the illusion of separation, replacing it with a profound sense of unity. The universe, with its infinite expanse, speaks to us through the language of wonder. To gaze at the stars is to look back in time, to witness the light of celestial bodies that have burned for millions, even billions of years. In these moments, the boundaries of our individual lives blur, and we feel ourselves as part of something timeless and infinite. The same atoms that compose the stars, the earth, and the air we breathe also compose us. This realization connects us to the very fabric of the cosmos, reminding us that we are not merely observers of the universe, but participants in its unfolding story. In nature, there is also a sense of healing, both physical and spiritual. The gentle touch of the wind, the warmth of the sun, the cool embrace of the earth beneath our feet all have the power to soothe and restore. In the presence of nature, the burdens of modern life seem to fade, replaced by a sense of peace and renewal. This connection grounds us, reminding us of the simplicity and purity of existence, unencumbered by the complexities we so often impose upon ourselves. To connect with nature and the universe is to return to our roots, to rediscover the primal and eternal bond that unites us with all that exists. It is a reminder of our smallness and our greatness, our individuality and our unity. It is an invitation to walk softly upon the earth, to marvel at its beauty, and to recognize that we are, in every sense, home. Creating one's own meaning is a journey of profound significance, a process that requires stepping away from the ready-made narratives and prescribed paths offered by society. It is an act of reclamation, a decision to take ownership of one's existence, rather than passively inheriting a purpose defined by others. This endeavor is not about defiance, but about authenticity, about discovering what truly resonates with the core of one's being and living in alignment with that truth. Life, at its essence, is a canvas of infinite possibilities. From the moment we become aware of ourselves, we are faced with the question that no one else can answer for us: what does it all mean? The world around us often provides answers: success, wealth, recognition, tradition, but these are external constructs, not universal truths. To create one's own meaning is to look beyond these constructs and ask, what matters to me? It is a deeply personal inquiry that demands introspection, honesty, and courage. In this process, one must confront the reality that meaning is not something handed down from the cosmos or inscribed in the stars. It is something we must actively create. This realization can feel both liberating and daunting. The absence of inherent meaning leaves us free to define our own purpose, but it also places the responsibility squarely on our shoulders. There is no guidebook, no definitive answer, only the inner compass of our values, passions, and experiences to lead the way. Creating meaning is an act of exploration. It begins with curiosity, a willingness to venture into the unknown territories of the self. What brings joy? What ignites a sense of wonder? What feels worth striving for? These questions are not answered in a single moment, but through a lifetime of living, experimenting, and reflecting. Meaning is not static, it evolves as we grow, shaped by our choices and the lessons we learn along the way. This journey often requires letting go of societal expectations and the fear of judgment. To create one's own meaning is to risk being misunderstood, to walk paths that others may not see or value. It is to resist the temptation of conformity and instead honor the unique melody of one's soul. This authenticity, though challenging, is also deeply fulfilling. It allows one to live not as a shadow of others' desires, but as a full expression of their own essence. In creating meaning, there is also a recognition of impermanence. Life is fleeting, and its transience makes the act of imbuing it with purpose all the more significant. Every moment becomes an opportunity to add depth and richness to the narrative we are crafting. Whether through relationships, art, service, or simply the pursuit of knowledge, each choice contributes to the larger tapestry of our lives. This process is not about finding the right meaning, but about embracing the freedom to define and redefine it as we see fit. The act of creating meaning also connects us to something larger than ourselves. While the meaning we create is deeply personal, it often touches the lives of others, weaving us into the fabric of humanity. Our purpose may find expression in acts of kindness, the pursuit of justice, or the creation of beauty, but in each case it reminds us that our lives, though singular, are part of a greater whole. This interplay between individuality and interconnectedness enriches the sense of purpose we cultivate. To create one's own meaning is to live deliberately. To approach life not as a passive observer but as an active participant. It is to see each day as a blank page, each choice as a stroke on the canvas, each experience as a thread in the story. It is a commitment to authenticity, to curiosity, and to the relentless pursuit of what makes life worth living. Through this act, we transform the ordinary into the extraordinary and make our lives a work of art. In the end, creating one's own meaning is the ultimate act of freedom and courage. It is an acknowledgement that life is not about finding a predetermined purpose, but about shaping one that aligns with our truest selves. By embracing this process, we transcend the mundane and step into a life of intentionality, where every moment holds significance and every choice becomes a reflection of our unique essence. In crafting our own meaning, we honor the profound truth that we are not mere spectators in the story of existence. We are its authors, its dreamers, and its creators.